In this video, I'd like to show you how to use our TBTAese Checker. The first step is to make sure that you have the analyzer selected. So you go to Utilities in the main menu, select Add a Target Language, and we will select Analyzer in the drop-down. Then it loads all of the analyzer's words and rules, etc. This will take just a minute here. Okay, now we have the analyzer selected. You go to Utilities in the main menu, Proposition Analysis. And I'm here in the Examples section. Normally you would be in the Bible somewhere. So you would click on Reference, and then select the Bible, and then go wherever you want. Joshua, Judges, or wherever you want. I'm going to stay in the Examples. And I've entered an example here already. To do this, you click on Edit Text, and then here's where you would enter your verse. I've developed some sentences here that illustrate particular things that I want to show you. So I'm going to use this example here. So after you've entered your text, you click on Check Text, and it checks all the words. And then step 2, checking the verb frames, and it highlights the word finish in red. The finish here, after I finish reading the book, finish is, it's marking aspect, it's not a main verb. So we go down to this option. This word is an auxiliary verb, not a main verb, so it does not need a sense. So I'll double click here. It highlights reading in red. Reading is a main verb. I'll double click here to read something. The book that is on the table. Our system has about 25 different senses of the verb to be, and you'll need to become familiar with all of them. On this one, the book that is on the table, that's the locative sense, which is right here, be sense F. So I'll double click on locative. I want you to ask me some questions. So this sense is to desire that someone else do something, our very first sense of want. So I'll double click here. Now this sense of want takes an object complement clause. So it inserts the beginning of the object complement clause and highlights it in red. And we need to supply the end. We need to mark the end of the object complement clause. It'll go right there. So I insert that and then double click on continue. You're to ask me some questions. Okay, that's our first sense of ask, to ask someone a question. Are you able to ask me questions? Again, this is the first sense of ask. If you also read this book, okay, that's our first sense of read. We will learn about many things. Okay, learn sense C is to learn about something. Things which are very interesting. Okay, the verb to be followed by an adjective is our attributive sense, be sense D. So I'll double click here. Okay, now it's checking the adjective frames. Some, the word some, is sometimes an adjective, but not here. So we're going to double click on this word is not an adjective. The word about is sometimes an adjective, but not here. So I'll double click on this word is not an adjective. Are you able? Okay, able is an adjective. We have only one sense of able, so I'll double click on able. The able takes a complement clause as well. So it inserts the beginning boundary for the complement clause and highlights it in red. We need to supply the end of the complement clause, which goes right there. And then I double click on continue. About, here it's not an adjective. We will learn about many things. Again, that's not an adjective. Here that's a preposition. Many, okay, many is an adjective. Things which are very interesting, okay, that is an adjective, our first sense of interesting. Okay, now step 4, checking the adverbial clauses. Does this preposition begin in an adverbial clause? It's highlighted the word after in red. After I finish reading the book, yes, that is an adverbial clause, so I'll double click on yes. It inserts the beginning of the adverbial clause in red, and we need to supply the end of the adverbial clause. It'll go right there, after the comma. Then we double click on continue. If you also read this book, that is the beginning of an adverbial clause. So we double click on yes. It inserts the beginning opening clause boundary, and we need to supply the closing clause boundary right there. Okay, step 5, identifying relative clauses. The book that is on the table, that is the head noun for a relative clause. Is this noun the head of a relative clause? I'll double click on yes. It inserts the beginning of the relative clause. We need to find the end of the relative clause. It'll go right there. Then I double click on continue. Many things which are very interesting. Things is the head of a relative clause. So I'll double click on yes. It inserts the opening boundary for the relative clause. We need to supply the end of the relative clause. It'll go right there. Okay, now it's identifying the reference for the pronoun, and it highlights the word I in red. Let's say the speaker is John. So we enter John. Then it highlights the next pronoun in red, which is also the word I, and it assumes the referent is the same, so it supplies John. So we just click on OK. I want you. Let's say the listener is Mary. To ask me, okay, again, it assumes the same referent, so it supplies John. If it's a new referent, you can type something else, but if it's the same, you just click OK. Some questions about it. Okay, it is the book, so we enter book. Are you, that's still Mary, so we click OK. Able to ask me, John, we click OK. About it is still the book, so we click OK. If you, still Mary. We, okay, let's say we is John and Mary, but you can only enter one person, so we'll enter John. We will learn about many things. Okay, step 7, identifying other subordinate clauses. This checker can't find all of the subordinate clauses. If you have multiple relative clauses modifying the same head noun, that's very difficult for it to find. So it gives you an opportunity to find any other remaining subordinate clauses and to mark them. In this particular example, there aren't any more subordinate clauses, so I'll double click on continue, and now we're finished. When you're finished, you click OK, and now you'll see your new version up here. So you'll do this for many verses, probably an entire chapter. Then when you're ready to export it, you'll go to Utilities, Edit Easy English Text, Export Revised Easy English Text. You click on that, and you specify the passage you want to export. My examples, my examples 112. We specify a file name. I'm just going to say examples, and it exports it there, and you can see it up here. Now you can use Windows Explorer to find your file. It'll be a text file, and you can send that text file to whoever is checking your texts. And that completes this video.